Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the fourth video on module 1 Python fundamental. In this video we are going to be talking about identifiers and input functions. Now in the last video we discussed arithmetic operators, and if you notice we performed some operations using the arithmetic operators. Okay, however, what if we want to store the particular values we have, the data we have somewhere, so that we can make use of it some other time, or possibly we want to get input from the user, not for us to type in the values while we are writing the code, because come to think of it, we don't have to have access to our code in order for us to be able to do and perform operations. We are giving this to users. Okay, so users should have a way to interact with our program, and for them to interact with our program, one of the ways they do that is via user input. Okay, so we just move straight to the IDE and see what we can do with that. Now when you talk about identifiers, there are different kinds of identifiers. It's not just with Python. In every programming language we have different kinds of identifiers. Identifiers are generally any entity in a programming language that needs a name in order to be referenced. That's what you call an identifier. So it's a combination or a collection of different characters, alphabets, numerals, and the rest of that. Okay, now identifiers are alphanumeric. Most of us think of identifiers as just variables. They are not just variable names. Okay, a function name is an identifier, a class name is an identifier, a variable name is also an identifier. So anything we need to reference with a name is called an identifier. So we have different types of identifier, but they all have the same naming convention. Number one, identifier should be alphanumeric. Okay, so they contain alphabets, they contain numerals, but they cannot start with a number. So you can have an identifier like this. Let's say we are looking at identifiers. You can't have an identifier like 1n equal to 15. That's wrong as an identifier because it starts with a number. A valid identifier will look like this: n1. That's a valid identifier. You can have something like sum of numbers, because this identifier contains what they call special characters. So identifiers cannot have special characters. That's another one. The special character we have here is this space. So in order for us to take away the space, there are two ways, or more than two ways basically. Number one, we can have an underscore, okay, to replace the special character, which is the space. If you don't want to have an underscore, something else you can do is to use a naming convention, what you call the camel case. So camel case, every first letter of the word, okay, or the component word should be capitalized. So except the first one. You can say the first one is small letter, but apart from the first one, every other one should be capitalized. Sum of numbers. This is called a Pascal, the camel casing convention. But we have another one that they call Pascal casing convention. Now, Pascal casing convention is saying every first letter of every word, be it the first, the second, every word, every first letter of every word should be capitalized. So this is the Pascal naming convention, this one, while this is the camel naming convention. Now we hardly use this. We use this in classes, in naming classes. When we come to classes we do that, but for every other identifier, please stick with this one. It's not like this is wrong, or if you use it you're going to have an error. You won't have an error, but it's something that is frowned upon. Okay, it's more like a custom okay, a way to go, a norm that programmers came up with. So this is for classes, and so this you can use it for variable names, and you can also use it for functions. So, and one other thing is, apart from starting with an alphabet, a variable name or identifier can actually start with an underscore. Okay, it can start with an underscore, but we are not going to be using underscore. It's not really a nice one. Okay, you see why. So that's what we have about variable naming. So what we need to do now is we are going to use this to write a simple program. So the first program we are going to write will be a program that is going to convert seconds down to minutes, and then what number of seconds is left that is less than 60. For instance, if I have 200 seconds, then within 200 seconds I could say it contains that should be 3 minutes. I think 3 minutes is 180, so it contains 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, or if I have 130 seconds, if the user gives me 130 seconds, then I can say that contains that should be 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So I'm doing this so that we can utilize what we've learned so far. Okay, that will be the first program we are going to write. Official program, actually. We've written some other program before. Okay, so that being said, let's see how we can write this program. So I'll just fire up another file, a new file, and then we'll write the program. So first I will be having my comments to say this is a program that converts seconds to minutes, and should I call it trailing seconds? Doesn't make sense. Okay, let's say trailing seconds. So let's have the total seconds. So this, I have a variable name called total seconds. Okay, for now I use the total seconds to be 200 just to test. Now I want to extract how many minutes are in this total seconds. How many minutes do I have in 200 seconds? Now, among the operators we've learned, which of them are we going to use? If I say 200 divided by 60, I'll be having my result as 3 point something, but my interest is just in 3 and not the point something. For that reason, what I'll have to do is to take just the quotients. Okay, and if you recall, we have an operator for that. I can say total seconds. Okay, total seconds divide by 60. If you divide total seconds by 60, it's going to divide, and this is what you call the integer division. Recall, it's going to give you just the whole number part. But now I want this whole number part to be saved in a variable called minutes. Next, I need to get the seconds. Now for me to get the seconds, it's still going to be total seconds divided by 60, but this time around I'm not going to use integer division. I need the remainder. Okay, when 60 divides 200, it's going to go in 3 times. The remainder is going to be 20, but my interest is in 20. For that reason, I'm going to use the percentage symbol. So the percentage symbol divides and gives you the remainder. So let's print out these bad boys and see what they have. So we'll say print total seconds, not total seconds. Let's print minutes, and next we are going to print seconds. Okay, so let's run this and see what we are going to have. First we need to save I'll save as from seconds. Okay, and then I think I have it there already. No, that's not the position. Every YouTube contents. Okay, I have it in this, yeah, model 1. So you save it there. So now we can go on and see what we have. And we have an error somewhere. Why? It said total seconds is not divided. Obviously I have a spelling error there. This is going to be 1C 1C. Okay, that should do it. So let's run. Yes. Okay, so you can see we have a result here, 3 minutes 20 seconds. But now we may want to modify this code. That's what I want to do now. So let me take it one more time before we modify the code. I have the total seconds to be 200. Let's change it now to be 720 or 740. I have the total seconds to be 740. This line is going to divide and take just the quotient, the whole number part. This line is going to divide and return just the remainder. In this line we are trying to print the number of minutes we have, and in this line we are printing the number of seconds we have. Okay, so let's run this again with 740 seconds and see what we have. So it's saying we have 12 minutes and 20 seconds. The number of seconds the same coincidentally. Okay, but that's not bad. Okay, so that's it. That's what we have in this program. So now we have to modify this program. I want to modify this program. This time around I don't want the program, I don't want to be hard coding this value. I want this program to be getting input from the user. Okay, so to get input from the user we need to use the input statement. So I'll open a new file. I'll copy what I have here, but open a new file. Okay, I still don't. Okay, I'll open a new file, save it there, then modify. So for us to get input from the user, what we are going to do is to use the input statement. So we use input, then we can give the user a prompt. Okay, we can say enter the total seconds. Now this is a prompt that is not compulsory. It's just a prompt so that the user would know what is about to enter value for. Okay, if not you can work with it without that value. Now a quick one, let me comment all of this for now, then show something. Let's say for instance what I want is basically to get user input for 2 values and then print out those values. So let's say for instance I want the value of A and I also want the value of B, and then I want to sum the values of A and B. Okay, I want to print A plus B. That's all I need. That's what I want this program to do. So I'll save this. I'll call it user input .py. Okay, so I'll save it there. So let's try it and see. So when you run this program, it's asking you to enter total seconds. Okay, that's a bad one. Let's say 23. Enter total seconds, that's 8. So we're expecting the result to be, what we are trying to sum here, we are summing the value of A and B, so we should be expecting, I think that should be 31. Let's see what we have, and we have 238. How lovely. Okay, let's try this again. I'll run this. 2 6 and our result is 26. Now how are we expecting 8 to be our result? Why is it giving us 26? Now what Python is doing, or what the input statement does, is whatever it gets from the user it converts it, or it assumes it to be a data type called the string data type. Okay, we'll be doing that in the next module. I will explain each of these data types we have, but that's what Python is doing. It's seeing it as a string data type. So you trying to add two numbers or these two values, it's as though you're adding two strings, okay, not two numbers. So when you're adding two strings, well, the operation that is being performed there is called string concatenation. So you're just keeping the string side by side. Okay, so it's having 2, then it's keeping 6 besides 2. Your final result becomes 26 instead of 8. So that's what's going on here. So what we need to do, since we're expecting a number from the user and not a string, we need to convert each of these to numbers so that they'll work fine. So I can either convert to number using floats, or I can use ints. If I'm expecting decimal number from the user, I should use floats. If I'm not expecting decimal number from the user, I need just whole numbers, then I should use ints. So in this case, I'm not expecting total seconds. I'm not expecting, well, let's say I want everything to be an integer. I'll just wrap this within an integer. So I'll do the same thing to this, wrap it within an integer. And now if I run this, okay, I should be having, I have 3 and then I have 9. So now instead of 39, we should be seeing the actual result, which is 12. Okay, I think that's cool. Now I don't want this video to be a very long one, so I'm going to stop this here, then see how you can modify this code to get user inputs, and then convert to total seconds, convert the total seconds down to minutes and seconds. Just modify this program we've written here using user inputs. Then in the next video, I'll come up with a solution, and then we'll look at some other program. Okay, that being said, if you have any comments, any question, suggestions, you can put it down in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.